What's up, guys? It is time for another episode of Reggie's Expressions. I have a old friend to the cast. I spoke to this gentleman 2 years ago in the middle of the pandemic, Mr. Blak Curry. He has been doing his gaming thing for a while now, and I just wanted to come back in and check in and see how he was doing because you know what? I haven't done a revisit episode, and I know a lot of life had happened for me, and I'm interested to see what's going on with him. But thank you guys for listening so much to all of the episodes. As you guys know, we're in season 5, and this is the 5th episode of season 5. So thank you so much. You guys know where to find us. Reggie's Expressions on all social media platforms, and you can find me at www.sokogarnproductions.com. So without further ado, we have Mr. Blak Curry.
What's going on, y'all?
So, it's good to see you, man. It definitely looks like things have been going well for you. The last time we left off, you were, I think, in Texas, right? Are you still in Texas?
I am still in Texas for another 5 more months, about 5 more months.
Oh, so what's next then?
I'm going to Korea.
Ooh, with the family, or are you just going by yourself?
No, just by myself, just so I can get it over with quicker.
Gotcha. So so typically you have a year when you do it with your family, right? Or no, when you do it by yourself.
Family. Oh yeah, by yourself. Yeah, just 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. So people can bring their families over to Korea now?
Yeah.
Well, that goes to show how long it's been since I've been here.
Right, and there's actually no curfew there anymore.
Interesting. Well, I guess. I mean, it's 2021. I mean, 2020. Well, 2022. I said my last episode, we're going to call it 2022 because if we say 2022, it sounds like 2020 again. So,
right. Don't say that.
Yeah, we don't want that again. We don't want that again. So 5 more months you're going to be over in Korea. Are you still doing the equal opportunity thing or EEO officer thing?
I am.
Okay.
I am until I get back, until I get to Korea, then I'll shift back to logistics.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because you and I had you're a 92 Yankee or? Okay, gotcha. I knew we had that in common. So you've been in the military for how long now?
This is coming up on my 14th year.
Wow. So you joined straight out of high school.
Straight out, yeah.
So it's safe to say you've seen a lot of changes in the military since you joined, because 14 years ago would be 2008, right? Okay. And I think when you came in, the military was definitely changing from the experience of it being like, I know I said last time Full Metal Jacket, but more to career oriented. So it's safe to say that you're going to do all your 20 years, right? Or you're probably going to do more.
Unless they kick me out before then, I'm going to go ahead and finish it out.
Okay. So you're going to do the 20 or you're going to do more than 20? Because you're a young guy. You're
20. That is it.
Hard stop. No more.
That is it. One thing I learned is that the most important thing, non-tangible thing in this world is time.
Right.
And I put a lot of time in the military, and just I've gained a certain level of success in the military, and I often think if I'd have put that much time in something that I really, really wanted to do, like a hobby or a job or a career that I really, really wanted to do, I would be quite successful at almost anything I could think of, So I said after 20, I am out. Give me my retirement papers and my retirement check, and I'm gonna focus on something else.
Right, and make sure you go get your benefits from, because definitely that has been the absolute best thing for me since I got out. I didn't do it quite right when I got out, but I'm thankful nonetheless to be able to get that stipend, and it's out there for you. So that's good.
Appreciate it.
So question for you. So now he old here now, y'all, because he's talking about retirement in like 4 years. So, or actually about 6 years. So what does retirement life look like for you?
As this point, the year 2022, what I'm thinking now is I want to start my own business.
Okay.
Not quite sure what that's going to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My father he has his own landscaping business. That's
Nice.
if
Okay.
there's any skill, the best skill that I have, uh, as far as like a trade, is landscaping. All right,
Mm-hmm.
we can do anything you want us to do. So that's something that I know I can be very successful in.
Okay.
Um, However, the most likely first course of action is going to be gaming.
Yeah.
I want to do this. I want to do this full time
Full time.
because during COVID, when COVID first hit, I learned something when I was quarantined. When I first started, I had a lot of time, and my brain was firing off the cylinders. I mean, I was thinking about this, thinking about that, and not only thinking about it, I was actually putting action behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why when I first started streaming, it was extremely successful. Because man, I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking all kind of stuff, and it was successful in the beginning.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, man, if I can recreate that, and the only way to recreate that is to have enough time. So
Right.
after I retire, I'm gonna have a lot of time.
And I want you guys to, by far, that's 6 years from now, right? So we
Mhm.
have a lot of time to kind of put that together. But I
Right.
want you guys to take a look behind this young man. What do you
Oh,
see?
oh
This is his
yeah.
life. He ain't playing with y'all.
Oh
He ain't
yeah.
playing with y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait. So I know you got a Super Nintendo. What is
Oh
that? The
yeah.
GameCube?
I got two Game Cubes, and actually that Super Nintendo, I had two original Nintendos on top of or on bottom of them. But my son recently, my youngest son, my 5-year-old, he recently took a liking to it, so I hooked it up downstairs for him.
Okay.
He's
Nice.
actually
Nice.
playing it right now as we speak.
That's nice. That's cool. So I met Blak Curry when I was, in my gaming phase back in 2020, which, it's almost been 2 years ago. And I
Which is
was
crazy.
one of, yeah, no, crazy. I was one of the ones, probably a million people who were playing Mario 35 on the stream. So he definitely surpassed me for sure. But I mean, at least it's something that you enjoy, and I love seeing Black folks have things that they enjoy. And you and I talked about this last time, but we don't see a lot of us out there who are thriving as much as I feel that we should be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, big ups to you. I know it's not a full time thing for you, but whenever you're on, I try my best to jump on when you are,
Definitely
because
will.
I
I
know that.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you do you have a schedule? I know that was something that you were talking about. I know being military full time definitely has you pulled in one direction for that, but have you created a schedule or still kind of doing it on the free time?
Right, yeah, right now it's just on the free time. The most concrete of a schedule, right now that me and my lady was talking about is just at least on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday and Sunday, we definitely want to do something. Around 6 o'clock, we haven't put it on paper yet or put it on online yet, but that's something that we
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to do. At least that'll be our foundation, and then whatever comes from that, we'll see where we go.
So tell me, I see your name up there. It says Retro Mew 64. How did you come up with that? Or
Oh,
tell me to explain that to me.
that's too easy. So retro, as you can see, I enjoy
Sure,
retro video
makes
games.
sense.
My
Yeah.
passion. That's what makes me happy. Retro video games. Mew is simply the Pokemon known as Mew. He's a very rare type Pokemon, and he's always been my favorite Pokemon. And
Mm-hmm.
64 is for my favorite console of all time, the Nintendo
Nintendo
64.
60.
So
Yeah.
all the games used to be like they used to call like they used to put 64 at the end of most of their games, a lot of their
Uh-huh.
games, Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64. So I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. I was called myself Mew 64,
64.
Retro Mew 64.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense. I am not familiar with the Pokemon situation, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
take your word for it. But I'm pretty sure the Pokemon fan, Pokemon. Let me not say Pokemon because that sounds horrible. They would know exactly what you're talking about. So,
Definitely.
so being I said this to another gamer that I follow. You may be familiar with her, but Miss Peaky 313.
Yeah.
She's super sweet girl. Had her on the latter part of the season, and one of the things that we talked about is how different of a road it is for Black folks in general, as well as it is for gaming. Would you say that you experience a difference than some of our non people of color experience in terms of being a gamer? Would that be true for
Definitely,
you? Okay.
definitely. Is to be honest, and unfortunately, it is a night and day.
N-
Uh,
Yeah.
it's I think we as Black people, I think we treat it like the comedy game. Right? You know how like in Black comedy we normally
Mhm.
have like one person on top. You'll
Right.
have Eddie Murphy on top. You'll
Hmm.
have Marlon Lawrence, Cat
Hmm.
Williams. Who else? Kevin Hart. He's been on top for a while.
Right.
And but then it's like they're on top, and then there's not saying there's
Nobody else
nobody in
in
between them, but
between.
nobody on their level.
Right.
And
You
it's
just
like
can't come in on that level and do what they've done because it's been years and or whatever the case. So I can understand that, man. Yeah, I can see
and
that.
then you look at our Caucasian counterparts. They have a lot of comics on top. You have
Hmm.
folks. Uh, what's the Dane Cook?
Hmm.
What's the guy he just passed? Rest in peace. Bob Saget,
Right.
Seinfeld.
Hmm.
All these great comics and whatnot. They all figured out how they can eat together, right?
Hmm.
Whereas
Hmm.
we think there has to be one on top.
Right.
And I think it's almost the same for the gaming community. I think
Hmm.
when you get in, like, because I'm in a few Black gamer groups, Black
Uh-huh.
streamer groups, and it's like they have a lot of people have just one person that they rock with, and that's it. Like,
Hmm.
and it's not just simply they don't mess with somebody else. They go out of their way to not
Promote or
promote, support
yeah.
anyone else, to the point to where that I've seen people just be very disrespectful to gamers, especially new gamers and streamers coming
Hmm.
in. Man, I've seen
Right.
some of the most vile comments. I saw folks say, "Bro, man, I watched your stream, and you had one person watching." Said this to this. He was a young brother too. This brother couldn't have been no more than 16, 17 years old. And it's like, man,
Wow.
why would you like
Hmm.
intentionally try to put him down instead of lift him up when it's
Right.
free? It's free to
Hmm.
lift somebody up.
Right. Right. It don't cost you no energy to lift somebody up.
you
It's more
know
energy to put them down than it is to lift them up. So
exactly. If you
I'm on the same
consciously got
page.
to think about putting somebody down,
Hmm.
lifting somebody up. That should be natural. Like, hey man,
Right.
keep going. Click a
Right.
like button.
Right. Right.
But yeah, short answer to your question, yes, it is very different.
And I would have to say that, I mean, just from my experience and even being in this space too, there's in this group that I'm a part of, because we have to have our own spaces to be able to vent our experiences, because if we don't, that stuff will eventually eat at us and you'll see a downward spiral. I had a podcast buddy that kind of did the same thing. He was left to his own devices, and his last show that he did was just him just going in on why nobody like him and this and that. So it's great to have a room where you can vent your experiences and people can acknowledge. But I agree with you in the sense that and I think it probably goes back to, and forgive me for kind of putting it together and it sounds a little floppy, but I think it comes back from the invisible kind of rat race they've put us in this world,
Right.
that cause us to think that there's only room for one,
Right.
when the reality is when you win, we all win. It's not just when I win. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
Exactly.
getting to pave the way for other people to come in and do what you do. And for him to say that in that way, it's like, first of all, this ain't my full job. Like, this ain't something that I would love to be successful in it, but at the same time too, I actually have a job that I do and a skill that I'm good at that I can make successful as well. But when it's in you, it's in you. That's one thing that I've learned, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you'll have people very sobering moments, and I guess I wouldn't call them sobering, but you'll have moments like that where people try to call you bluff. But at the end of the day, if you have to do it for yourself. You know,
Right.
you have to find within you that makes you get up and want to do the streaming and makes you want to stick with it. And fuck what anybody says. You know, at the end of the day, if I only got one person listening, hey, that's one person.
That's what it is then.
You know, focus on the people that you're reaching and not the people that you're not reaching. And I'm talking to myself because I'm in the same space. I be on Anchor looking like, oh man, I only got 10 downloads.
Yeah.
I don't even really know 10 people, to be honest, like that I talk to on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's a small feat nonetheless. And then also, what I've learned too is you have to celebrate the small victories. You know, I've had a few people that have come to me and said that they appreciate what I'm doing, and you know, although they didn't say it publicly or whatever, it was still worth it. So you know, fuck whoever said that. I don't know if it was to you or to whoever. Fuck whoever said that. You're doing your thing, and I love the fact that you. Oh, okay.
It was to a younger brother.
Gotcha.
He was just simply asking for help and advice on streaming.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you know, you're a hometown guy. You from Tifton, so I support anything that you got going on. So I appreciate you answering that, and I'm on the same page with you. And I don't know what would be something that we would be able to do to fix that. I mean, some of that stuff is so deep seated in us. It's like crabs in a barrel, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna keep, pulling one down, and what happens is nobody gets to level up. But I think those conversations are starting to change people. So we'll see what happens. So you did say your favorite gaming console is Nintendo 64, right?
Correct.
Okay. What's your favorite game?
My favorite game on that console is Diddy Kong Racing.
Okay. So if you had to explain that to like the person, like for example, I don't know what it is. How would you explain it?
Oh, that's too easy. Once again, right? If you look over my shoulder here, you see Mario Kart. Everybody loves Mario Kart, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody. Yeah. If you mention Nintendo 64, people say, "Oh yeah, Mario Kart." Now, Diddy Kong Racing (DKR) is Mario Kart, but literally 100 times better. Like it's not even close. It's Mario Kart on crack.
Right. Okay.
And a lot of people played it, but Mario Kart is what everybody know. But
right, that's true. It's the mainstream.
Right, it's the mainstream. And it took everything Mario Kart lacked and made it better. What a lot of people don't know is, first, that Nintendo 64 was Nintendo's first console in the 3D realm, right?
Okay.
What a lot of people don't know is the characters and a lot of the fixtures and sprites in Mario Kart are not 3D. So as you playing Mario Kart and you looking at your racer, it's not 3D. That's the same. They almost could have did that on the Super Nintendo, right?
Right.
It's just a two-dimensional plane. And as they turn, you're still looking at a two-dimensional image. Whereas on Diddy Kong Racing, fully 3D, everything is 3D. You're getting a full 3D experience. So and you're racing not just with karts, you have airplanes, hovercrafts on water. If you're listening now, if you haven't played Diddy Kong Racing, go play it at your earliest convenience. Download it, and then come back and tell me you didn't like it better than Mario Kart. You can't.
Okay. So that is. Hold on a second. I can hear you. Okay. I can't hear myself. All right, I can hear myself now. I had to turn it down a little bit. My bad. So that sounds very amazing. That definitely sounds like something I should get into.
Definitely.
Is it on Switch? Can you get it on Switch?
At this moment in time, no. The Switch, they just came out with their Nintendo 64 application, but they only have I think 8 or 10 games. It hasn't come out yet, but it's not on there yet. Hopefully it does.
So you don't have to do this, but Would you mind showing us a little bit about showing your room a little bit, kind of showing your gaming room?
Yeah, sure. That's too easy. So you see, this is a lot of my games and stuff like that.
Okay.
And there's some at the bottom, some consoles and some and games at the bottom as well.
Okay.
But when you turn the camera around, you'll see my setup. This is my setup.
Okay.
I have my Omen monitor here. One of my
Okay.
prized possessions because that thing ain't cheap. Uh, ring light, got ring light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to see that, but know what that is.
It's a bag. It's a bag for nickels, y'all. It's bag for nickels. That's what that is. Don't worry about it.
My camera sits here. Background.
Okay.
You see my TV.
Nice.
And I got my basketball jerseys because this where while I'm gaming, I like to keep up on my sports and stuff. So I watch sports while I'm gaming.
Okay.
I have my Omen. Is this an Omen computer? My Omen gaming laptop. And right here, this is where all the magic happens. I don't know if I can zoom in on that. That is Mew. That is the Pokemon that I named myself after.
Okay.
Right. And then, if you look on the other side, we have another setup.
Okay.
This is my wife's setup. She has a PS5. She has her has her chair, that kind of thing. Got my Matt Ryan Atlanta Falcons jersey up. Got some posters. And in the closet over there, I have more gaming stuff. That's where I keep all of my cords and hookups and controllers and miscellaneous boxes to everything and that kind of stuff.
I appreciate you showing me that. That's pretty similar to my setup. I mean, I just don't have all the games and stuff that's going. But okay, look at you. I'll say. So, what are the medals from?
Oh man, those are like high school wrestling and basketball medals.
Oh, okay, so you used to wrestle, and man, you were all American.
Oh yeah, I try to dabble in a few different fields.
Okay, now Tiff County over there, Tiff County. But yeah, so if you had to talk to your younger self, and you was like, "Hey, younger self, I need to give you some advice," what would that advice be about gaming so far?
Don't stop.
Okay.
Don't stop gaming. There was a time where I stopped gaming. So, like I said, I joined the Army in 2008, and from 2008 till 2017, I just wasn't gaming. Or I play like a game here, or Call of Duty here, or Call of Duty there, and that was it. And so I just stopped, and let me fix my camera until I was reading something. Man, my camera is all jacked up.
Behind the scenes, y'all. This live right now. We gotta get it perfect, because you know that I think that's the most weirdest thing when you'll be on and somebody has their camera like right here, and you're like, I can't just. You have to get that fixed, and then I'll have to come back because I can't watch you.
Oh yeah, that camera is. Oh man, that's a crucial piece.
Yeah, it's in
right.
Absolutely. And right now, to be honest, I'm using my iPad because my camera on my iPad is better than my MacBook. Oh, I'm an Apple guy.
You got a good camera on there.
Yeah, it's super clear. But when I do it on my laptop, you can tell like the fuzziness and the haziness. And, you know, those are some of the investments that you have to take. So, again, younger self.
Yeah.
What would you say to your younger self? What advice would you give your younger self about, you know, getting into the gaming industry or, you know, taking this as serious as you have so far?
Yeah, I would definitely tell them to don't stop. Because I feel like had I not stopped, I would have got into the streaming community way earlier. I'm talking 2012 earlier.
Okay.
I would have got into it, and that was a prime time to get into it because it wasn't a lot
right.
at all. So yeah, and I the reason why I stopped is because I'm thinking, oh, I'm an adult now. I don't play games anymore. Right? Just listening to other people and stuff when that's not the case at all. Like just because you play video games does not mean you are not at a certain level of maturity, right?
Right.
You know, I'm like, I got 3 kids, married, military career. You see all the games behind me, and I mean, I think I'm doing quite well for myself overall. So, yeah, I just tell myself, don't stop, do what you love to do.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, you learn your passion, you know, and you realize you figure out a way. And that's one thing that I've done. You find a way for you to be able to still have the joy for what you do. I was an 18-year-old kid who wanted to do radio, right? I knew I didn't want to go to college. I mean, initially, but you know, because college was getting a freaking PhD and going to, you know, be a doctor and being away at school for so long. But when I found that, you know, I can still do my, you know, radio stuff, you know, if I majored in my career in it, the easier it was for me to acknowledge it. So, or, you know, absorb it, because school wasn't it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that very early on. But when I started taking the courses for radio, the more I was into it. Now, a lot of that kind of gave me, you know, the lessons that I need to learn in terms of being a personality in general, you know, but nowadays, you know, everything is all automated. It's all wired. It's wireless. You know, it's in the ether. So I had to learn a new way to do something that I was passionate about. And I'm the kind of person that if it ain't simple, like I need to know everything I need to know. So I will spend as much time as I can researching it to finally feel comfortable with launching it. And I didn't quite do that when I was a gamer. I just kind of jumped into it because I thought it was cool. And then I experienced the same, you know, tough navigation that you experienced, and just, you know, feeling like I was out there and alone, and, you know, getting resentful of the people that I was, you know, I gamed with, who came up with me, see them surpass me, and, you know, expecting them to, you know, to pass the baton. But it's not the same for them as it is for us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For them, it's definitely an experience for them to try to, you know, better their situation, and, you know, whoever want to come on. But if you ain't, I'm still going to do it. With us, you know, sometimes we do have to, you know, depending on the field, we have to, you know, pass the baton. And, you know, it's very difficult for us to keep and maintain audiences because it's just not something that people are used to seeing. Right. So, I got out the game after Mario 35. I was like, that last day they had it on, it was up, was my last day streaming. And
they need to bring it back.
You know, and I had fun. I got to meet you. I got to meet Black Retro Gamer, BRG, you know, which is a cool dude. I found Pinky from that time. But it was me, the NES stream. I can't remember that other guy's name, but his name was Matt. It was like 4 or 5 of us. I think even, do you know who Super Pat is?
I don't.
Okay, Super Pat started around the same time I did. And that dude has over 46,000 followers. Wow. On a given night, it's about 200-300 people that are watching him. And he just played Mario Maker. And then, do you know Josh, oh my gosh?
I don't.
Josh, oh my gosh, he's actually he's a black man in the middle of Colorado, kills it. Like, I'm telling you, this dude pulled numbers. I was in there one night, it was like fucking Las Vegas, damn MGM type shit. Yeah. 1,000 coins over here, 1,000 stars over there. You know, 25,000 stars. I was like, what is happening?
Right.
This man done got $250 in stars right here. Like,
right.
And you know,
in an hour.
Right. You know, he does his at midnight. So I think it's like from 11 to about 3 in the morning. I really think that this is his full-time job. But that's an anomaly. I don't know anybody else that's like him, that is a black person who's pulling the numbers that he pulls. And that shows you how difficult it is. Now, when you go and you look at like the stream that I was talking about, them guys consistently pull people. Right. You know, I think both of those guys, they started around the same time I did. I would say about 8-9 months in. Both of them had hit partner. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to hit partner and to maintain it.
That's difficult.
You know what I'm saying?
Very difficult.
you know, man, I was struggling trying to get just 100 people so I can get level up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Right.
So, but you have a big community. You do. And I think you have over what, almost two grand or something like that of followers, right?
1,300 followers.
Okay. So, question for you: did you participate in the Level Up program, or have you not opted into it? Or
Oh yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it now. I just got back in it after taking my little hiatus. But yeah, I'm in the Level Up program.
Okay. So, what brought on the hiatus? What made you have to take a step back a little bit?
Lack of motivation. It is hard sometimes just to stay motivated to do certain things. It's like, you know, normally people say work got in the way, or, you know, kids and that kind of stuff. Nah, that's not the case at all. Like, I literally make my own hours at work. I go in when I want, leave when I want. I can literally stream at 10 o'clock in the morning every day if I wanted to. But it was just a lack of motivation. And it's like, I don't know if I want to do this today. And then that day turned to 2 days. And then that 2 days turned to a week. And that week turned to a month. So about a month and a half. Prior to this week, it was a month and a half ago last time I streamed. But I got some motivation now. I got my motivation back, and I think this is going to what's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna last. This motivation is gonna last. I think I'm in it for the long run now.
But you've been in it for going on 2 years now, and it's okay to take hiatus and everything. And I know just the kind of person that I've gotten to know you as. I know that wasn't something that you took easily. You were just like, you just was exhausted, and it just, and I'm glad you gave yourself a break, because this can become overwhelming sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And, it's easy to get down that path, and then you start thinking that what you're doing is not enough. I was actually in that mode all day today. Like, I was sad as fuck. And it was because I started my business in January, at the beginning of January. Actually, I started my LLC the latter part of 2021. So I can officiate, I can marry people, officiant, notary, and I'm a podcaster, what I'm doing now. But it was easy getting the business. Until I had to part with the money. It was easy to have the idea to have the business. Don't nobody really tell you what you need to go through. You got a business, so it's just I want a business. It's like, oh yeah, you should do it. But what should I do? Oh, well, have a good day. And it's like, but I have questions. Right. So, but today I was just feeling like, man, I finally got my bank account and everything through my bank. And I get a call from this lady earlier this week. And, when it comes to us and Black folks and some of the experiences we share, sometimes we'll get stuff and we feel like can be taken away from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, easily. We work hard for it, right? But we can't sit in that happiness because we're afraid, or some of us, not all, are afraid to experience the joy behind it because it can be taken away from you.
Right.
So, long story short, she called and was like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, which on some biz, my legal name is Reginald. My nickname is Reggie. I didn't think this caused an issue when I did my documentation for my stuff.
Right.
Well, the lady was like, well, it doesn't match your legal name. I'm like, well, but Reggie is one of my aliases, so it's the same. Well, we're going to end up having to cancel your account if you can't provide the documents necessary in order to do this. So I didn't focus on shit else. I was like, take away from. That was all I heard. You know what I'm saying? So it put me on this downward spiral. And I was like, just cancel the account then. Fuck that shit. You know what? I ain't even making no money in this bitch anyway, so who cares? So, and then I had an opportunity to kind of, I told Carlos and how I felt, and I, well up, and I cried, and I was frustrated and all that other stuff. And then eventually I was like, you know what, let's take the steps necessary in order to be able to fix it. Because obviously you don't have to go through all that. I mean, it wasn't that bad to go through, but it was just something I was so proud of, and the fact that I'm having to kind of, renegotiate it just seemed odd to me. So I went and I did, I went back and I had to go do some work, and I went down there today and I told the lady that I'm working on it, and she said that she was also working on another way to try to see if we can keep the account open. You know what I'm saying? With other things that I was able to do. But it just felt like it could be taken away from me. And it just put me in that fear mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm working hard and they're trying to take it away from me. But in reality, it's like, and you're going to have moments like that often, because you're going to, especially when you're starting off small, like you and I have in this space, you have a lot of time to yourself to think, well, shit, whatever I'm doing is not good enough. Why am I going online? And I'm only going to have X amount of people that's going to watch anyway. So why would I, you know what? I'm not doing it today. Fuck it. I'm not doing it tomorrow either. You know what? Who cares? I'm not doing it the rest of the week. And then you have a month. But I will tell you this. You have definitely left an impression on a few of my friends.
Oh, really?
And Carlos too. He was very excited when I told him that I was going to be interviewing you. He was like, "Tell Blak Curry." I said, "What's up?" He knows your name. Like he didn't know, Eugene. Yeah. And then another friend of mine, George, he also watches you too. And when you interviewed the very first time, they were very happy. They were excited that I interviewed you, that I was interviewing you, and they also watched the episode all the way through. Nice. They learned a lot of good things. So it might not be on the scale, and not that you're struggling with this. I just figured I would say that, but it might not be in the masses of 1 and 2 million people. But that's what I mean about celebrating the small victories. Right. 1,300 people. I don't know 1,300. I'm pretty sure I've met that many people in my life, but I don't know 1,300 folks. That's awesome.
Right. I can't even name 1,300 people.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to you, and you're doing your thing. And I think that it's just the road that we navigate to just be relevant here. So I get it. Now, what do your kids think about you streaming?
Oh, man, these kids love it, man. What? My kids love it. Like, okay. My daughter, they had some kind of career day or something at school, and they asked my daughter what does she want to be when she grow up. Mm-hmm. This little girl said, "I want to be a streamer." She didn't say doctor, astronaut, right. Stuff. She went straight to streaming. And then my oldest son, he's 10. We just got him set up on his YouTube page, so now he streams and upload videos and gaming videos on his own. And so now I did it for him. Now the other two are looking like, oh well, you got to do it for us now. So now I'm gonna make them their own YouTube pages so they can get into it. And you never know, like. Man, you look at these kids on YouTube. One little boy brought in $26 million last year just off playing the game. And then the other little boy who just played with toys all day, Ryan, that joke is a gazillionaire. He's like, wow, 6 years old.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's something they want to do. So I said,
why not? Yeah. And, we don't have to use the traditional, navigation of going to school, going to college. So I think that's awesome that you're allowing them to kind of quench their thirst in that and, allow them to kind of figure out what they want to do with it. Right. I think it's awesome, because we only have one path. You better graduate, go to school, and get the hell out of here.
That's it. That was when you turn going to the military, you're going to school.
Yeah. Because when you turn 18, I'm not paying for your ass. Right. So, and you come across my door, you're gonna have to come in on time. At least that's the story that my parents told me. I was 23 years old. I still had a curfew. I was in the military. I'm over here serving my country. It was like, you ain't here by 12. You might as well go ahead and find you somewhere else to stay. You're not staying here tonight. But yeah, man, that's awesome. And your wife is into it too. I do see. And Mary is your wife, right?
Yep.
I do see Mary from time to time on there saying stuff. She seems like she's a good gamer. And that's another thing. You don't really see a lot of female gamers out there who like to shoot 'em up games like she does.
And then with her, she didn't even know. This is how I know I should be some kind of recruiter for something. I got an eye for some stuff because she didn't want to play games, or last time she played a game was in the 90s. And I was like, hey, and play the game, and not only did she play it, she's actually pretty good at it.
Pretty good, yeah. She's
pretty good. She be having people trying to recruit her and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I told you, just play a little bit. You'll be all right.
So it's gonna be a family affair after a while. Everybody gonna have their own, YouTube careers and everything. Now, so we know that gaming is your thing. Where do you see yourself if you had to say in another 5 years?
5 years from now, oh man, I will be closing up shop in the Army, and I think I will be stepping up, to the next level of this gaming stuff. Just like I said earlier, applying more time to this versus going to work every day.
Right.
So that's definitely where I see myself, because I got a lot of different ideas and stuff that I want to do. Just I don't have the time to do a lot to get it on. And plus now I'm transitioning, because at first I had a vision. I had a vision for this game and stuff. I was like, I want a team, right? I want a team of people, because if you look, they operate as a team. You got one person, he may be a video game streamer. The other person, he may be a tech guy who reviews controllers and stuff.
Right.
You got another guy, he just reviews video games, and you got another guy, he has a talk show or something. And every other episode, they are shouting each other out, talking about each other, doing shows together and stuff like that. And I saw that, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of RGT85. He reviews video games, mainly Nintendo games, and I saw how he interacts with Spawn Wave and Scott DeWaz, and I'm like, yo, these people have a small little community, and they are all eating. So that's what I wanted for gaming. Man, that did not work out.
Really?
Oh my God, that blew up in my face.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, so the main thing that really did hurt me, right, was the simple fact that, I expressed the same thing that I just expressed to you, and people are on board with it. And then I'm like, all right, now it's time to execute. Now I got my setup. Cool, right? And then during COVID, I was skyrocketing, right? And these are people that I know. These are people that I know personally, right? I ain't even getting to the strangers yet. They are looking at me, right? They see it. Then they'll ask me, hey, how do I get my stream set up? I'll help them. How do I get my podcast set up? I'll help them. I show them the ropes, and I let them know what equipment is good, and blah, 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 blah. Whole 9 yards. To be met with no reciprocation whatsoever. And when I'm talking about, number one, they wasn't even watching my streams before, right?
That's the worst, yeah.
I took it, I took that on the chin, like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm gonna help him or her out, and still help them out, and maybe it'll get better, right? Then after they get set up and now they're streaming and whatnot, and I'm like, hey, we got to collab, we got to do this. Man, I'm talking about not replying. I'm talking about say, yeah, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, that, and third. Nothing was ever reciprocated. But the craziest part is they will every now and again, to this day, come to me and ask me, hey, give me a shout out, shout me out on this, shout me out on Instagram, shout me out during your stream, give me a post, shout me out. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. Right.
I'm not doing that for you. No, it's scratch my back. Yeah, I get that.
And then it's like, now that team that I was looking for, No, that's not the future. The future is like you said, in the next 5 years, doing this doing this on my own, like, me and my family,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that team wasn't of people that I know. The strangers started messing with me heavy. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
messed with me
Mm-hmm.
more than people that I actually knew. Like, what the, like, this is
Right.
backwards,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
that was Sparkle 64. This is a Caucasian lady
Mm-hmm.
in Denmark.
Okay. Okay.
This lady is in Denmark, and she was watching my streams when I was streaming Super Mario 64. She would watch every single one of them, right? And keep in mind, she's
Nice.
about 7 hours ahead.
Right.
And then she would inbox me, uh, ask me how I'm doing, and tell me she would want to get into streaming, and we would talk
Mm-hmm.
about streaming and that kind of stuff. And then I had what I'm talking about. We had lengthy conversations about streaming, and now she got her streaming up, and she shot me out every stream. She and her
Nice.
Now her name was Sparkles at first, and then she changed it to 64. I'm the only person you ever saw name 64, and she did that
Nice.
because of me. And I say, man,
Uh,
I say if I would have died today, or if something happened to me, I can't stream no more. If I just decided not to stream no more, I feel good because that meant
right.
a lot.
That's it. That's it. It takes one person, you know what I'm saying, to really make a difference, and that's awesome. I can see why you inspire. Just seeing your streams and stuff like that, I can see why you would. So that's amazing, and that's definitely a story that you should definitely cherish and keep you motivated to continue to do what you do. Because
Definitely.
I get that too. I actually at some point I had a conversation with the people that I cared the most about, even my husband. And I was like, I had to sit down with him because he wasn't watching either.
Mhm.
And I was like, if I can't get you to listen to the stream or watch it, then how can I expect that others will come and do the same? You know what I'm saying? If you believe in me, part of it is actually, staying the course and supporting me through it. And support means that you support the dream any way you can. Now, I'm not
Right.
asking you to go and be on every stream, but I am asking you to, promote, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's
Definitely.
a whole bunch of exposure from, to people that I don't know that I could, you know what I'm saying, essentially inspire. And it took a little bit, and I had to have a few, different conversations again, but I've pretty much got them all on board at this point. So,
Yeah. I think with that, it's one thing I hate when people say this. People say, "Well, you can't expect your friends and family to support you." Yes, the fuck I can, and yes, the fuck I do. Like,
you know,
if you a friend of mine or you family of mine,
hmm
and whatever you decide
hmm
to do, I know for a fact you got my support. I share
right,
all I share people's stuff. You know you got my support. You didn't have my
hmm
support, and I do expect that to be reciprocated.
right,
Like, there is
right,
no there's no gray area with me. Like, I done lost friends over this,
hmm
because I'm not one to shy away from conversation and whatnot. I'm not one to shy away from what it is. Like, I done had
right,
conversations. Like, I done post something saying, to the effect of, your friends and family don't mess with you, but uh, people that you don't even know mess with you harder than them, right?
hmm
And then people have commented on that and stuff, and I'm
hmm
like, yes, motherfucker, like,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, I'm
I
talking
expect
about you.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm literally talking about you. Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
Keisha,
ever be.
yeah,
Hey,
Keisha,
you
I'm talking
didn't
about you.
support, like, you didn't support me, like, at all.
Hmm.
Which is cool. Do your thing, but now I know I can fall back from you. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because this is a
hmm
one sided. This is a parasitic relationship. It's not mutual.
right.
You know what I
hmm
mean? You looking for me to do something, but you don't want to give that same support. Like, one dude started his own clothing line and whatnot, and he's soon as he started his clothing line, like, hey, I want you to give me my first shout out.
hmm
Pardon my French, but nigga, I've been playing these games for a year now.
right,
And you
right.
see it. Like, stop playing with me.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, at the very least, it's like it shouldn't. I agree with you on so many levels when it comes to that, because it really people talk about time and effort, and they, time and you make time for the things that you want. The things that matter to you, you'll make time for. So, it's easy for me to say, well, I obviously don't matter because you ain't making a difference in trying to, especially if this is something that I believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? The easy part is to just, to support. I mean, I'm listening to Will Smith audiobook right now, which honestly and truly I have to say is the absolute best. I was surprised at how good it is. But he didn't start out that way. He didn't have all the support in the world. You know what I'm saying? He just had a dream. Right. And, he had a lot of people telling him that, that his dream wasn't going to matter. He ain't going to be able to do all this stuff. And look at where he is. You know what I'm saying? So support has to come from somewhere. And these are the same people who helped mold me into who I am. So why wouldn't I expect them to help our brother out? You know what I'm saying? So
we're not asking nobody to spend money. We're literally talking about clicking a like button, hitting a share button, or just watching a stream. One thing I did learn that before I started streaming, I did not know much about streaming at all. Right? I did not know anything. I watched one person stream. It was a Mama Lee, white girl named Mama Lee. I love her to death. She the one who got me into streaming, right? But I didn't know anything about streaming. I look up one day and I see, man, these folks got millions of followers, thousands or hundreds of thousands of people watching them at a time. Like, I did not know it was that big, right? Now, that's when I realized and noticed I had friends and family who were watching streams. I wasn't watching streams, but they were, right? So now I'm like, oh, I'm having a conversation with them, and then they come out, yeah, this person, that person. I don't know any of these people, but you do. So you telling me you watch these people? Yeah. You watch me for 5-10 minutes.
At the very least. Wow. That's tough, man. That's tough. That it's hard out there for us. You know what I'm saying? We try to convince our people, and it's just another extra layer that we don't have to worry about, because they're gonna support each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many nights I was up streaming, and people would raid other folks. You know what I'm saying? But not raid me. And these are folks I came up with. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm out the game. Y'all do what y'all want to do. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope that we kind of get on the same page at some point and we understand. And I'm just talking about us collectively. I hope don't nobody feel called out, but if you do, then this is for you. But at the end of the day, we have to support each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us have shared experiences, and we've been through similar things, and we have, family members who have shared experiences as well. And, not for nothing, we all have an indelible bond that, comes from ages and centuries and generations before us, So I have a feeling that 2022 is going to, be definitely the year of us getting back to center. I'm hoping that. Yeah, and I feel pretty good. I mean, I even though I was sad about the stuff that I was telling you about earlier, I still feel wildly optimistic. I hadn't got my first customer yet, but I feel like I'm making the right moves to continue that. My podcast is going better than I expected. I mean, it's not in the top 10, but one thing I did learn is that, to be honest, the people who are successful at podcasting are the people who've been successful at podcasting. So the early adopters. So like the Joe Rogan, which I hate. He's. Don't get me. I can say a lot of things about that man, and none of them would be nice. So we're gonna move on, because we just saw what happened with Tasha K, and I'm not trying to have that happen to me.
Yeah, right.
So Joe Rogan, do your thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's not as, because it's so easy to do. I'm over that threshold. They call it pod fade, where within 3 to 6 months, a lot of the people that have started will have dropped off because, you're in this vacuum by yourself and you're trying to cultivate this culture and you have ideas, but it doesn't come to fruition. But it just takes time. And now I'm 24 months in, and I have a pretty decent following. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have over 200 and some people that follow and like Reggie's Expressions. I've cultivated about almost 300 people on Instagram. Yeah. And then not including my own personal Facebook. So, I'm touching a lot of people. It's just that people are very stingy when it comes to that like and subscribe and follow button. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They be like, nah. Right. It's just like, put your finger on the thing, man. Just subscribe. How hard is it? Did that take you much?
With podcasts, I think, and also streaming as well, and you just alluded to it, that it's like, I think of it as his own profession. Like it's I think you gotta be good at it. You don't have to be good at it, because people who already built something doing something else, like professional athletes, actors, those kind of people. If Denzel Washington started a podcast now, a lot of people gonna watch it because he is
Denzel Washington. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it just makes it difficult, for everybody else coming up. Because
right.
Like, well, you did this, you coming into that. It's like, okay, more power to you, but damn,
Yeah, it definitely makes the road and the journey difficult, but it gives us good stories to be able to tell when we do make it, and I feel like it's gonna happen. We just have to stay optimistic. I'm gonna do my thing one way or another, you know what I'm saying? So, right. Whoever will have me and whoever is listening, I appreciate you. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, Mr. Retro Mew 64. I don't know why I had to say it that way. But before I let you all go, I just want to tell you guys, thank you again for listening to Reggie's Expressions. You guys are making a little black boy's dream happen. Coming from my mom who didn't have a voice for herself, and a best friend who, said live life on purpose every day. That's the reason why I do this, and I will continue to do it until the day that I die. I love this, and I appreciate everybody that's out there listening. I do need you guys to help support, and I'm not asking for money. The only thing that I'm asking for is for you to go and leave a 5-star comment. Why that's so effective is because that puts us more on the rankings, and then we can get into more houses and homes and all that other stuff. Put us on the algorithm that they talk about so much. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate all of you guys' support. Continue to support us over here, and that's the one way to do it. So go leave a 5-star on all social media, not all social media platforms, but podcast platforms, and get us up there, because I want to be able to expose myself to new people, and we'll get there. I know we will. So that's it for me, Mr. Mew. Anything you want to leave us with before you go?
I just want to say to everyone watching, listening, be yourself. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel as though something in your heart you want to do, do it. Because if you do it and fail, then you're right back in the same position you're in now. So what's the difference? You tried it. You don't have that regret in your heart.
Great.
And if you got people out there you love, got people out there you like, support them. Just like Reggie said, ain't nobody asking for no money out here, right? And we in the digital world, we're not, especially for us up and coming, we're not asking for money. All we need is exposure. The money will come later. It's gonna come later. Just like, share, subscribe. That's all we're asking.
And don't be asking us for no money when we get up there, okay?
I
ain't got it. But yeah, do you mind holding back a little bit after we get done here, Retro Mew?
Well, of course.
All right, guys. Well, that's been another episode of Reggie's Expressions. Peace. It is Reggie, Reggee Expressions. Reggees. I'm so sorry. Expressions on all social media platforms. All right. You guys have a good rest of your night. Peace.